Hi everyone. In this video we are going to be explaining the mini educator, how to set this up, and its functions. So when you get your mini educator, you're going to get it in this box. We're going to open this up and take each piece and just kind of go step by step here. So first thing that you will find is your owner's manual, so be sure and just kind of go through this and read it. Next we have our receiver. This is what goes on your dog. Your remote, your charger here, and additional tools. We're going to explain these in a bit. And your lanyard, so your remote can hang like a necklace if you want it to. Alright, so this is our receiver. This is what goes on the dog, and this is what receives the stem. So these two things here, these are your contact points. This is what needs to be on your dog's skin to receive the stem. This is your screen here. This will light up green when this is on and charged, and when it's off, it's going to blink a red, and then that means it turned off. And then on the side here, it has a red dot. If you notice, your remote also has a red dot, and to turn this on, what you're going to do is take the red dot and just pair it to this red dot, and as you can see, it's green, means it's on, and then you can see it's going to flash green, which means it's charged. If you're getting a flash orange or red, it probably means you need to charge your device. This is just a regular buckle collar that they have that comes with the educator. You can swap these out and change them for different collars, like bungee collars and so forth. Also here, if you notice the contact points here, you do have additional contact points, which are in this little baggie, and these are for if you have a dog with thicker coats or fur. Sometimes they won't feel these contact points. So you can also buy additional contact points that are specifically for heavier coated or skinned dogs like Huskies and German Shepherds and so forth. So to take these off and switch them out is why you have this tool here. This tool in here is the black one. And this actually kind of just goes on here, and you would twist it, and then you can switch these out for heavier contact points, or if you've bought others, you can switch those. Right, then here we have our remote. First, we use the mini educator for our clients. It's very user-friendly. It's usually a pretty decent price. It's got like pretty easy functions, so it's kind of easy for a first-timer or a customer to kind of get used to working with one of these first. So we usually have our clients start and work with mini educators. So first thing that we want to do is on the back of your mini educator, there is two buttons here. The one marked with an L, this one you're going to press and hold down until the front here you're going to see a light come on, and then you're going to see your screen come on. So that's how you're going to turn it on. To turn it off, you would just do the same thing. Press and hold, it would turn off. Also, what this does is when you hit the back of this button, it's going to turn your night light on here. So if you're working with your dog at night and you want your light on, press and hold or press twice on the L button. To turn off, just press it again. To blink, I can press this once, and then what this is going to do is it's going to just blink every so often. I press it twice, now it's going to stay on. Press it again, it's going to go off. So that button does all of that. So the other thing is on the side here you have two buttons. We got one black S and one red S. These buttons do different things depending on the setting that you're on. So we are on, if you look at our screen here, we are on momentary and continuous. You see an M and a C, and we'll go into what that means in a little bit. These buttons do different functions. So if I'm going to press my black button, this is going to be my momentary, and if I press my red button, this is going to be my continuous. So with my momentary up here, my momentary is a tap. It's about like 1/10 of a second of the stem being delivered, regardless of how long I hold this down. My continuous button is I can tap it, or I can press down, and the stem is going to stay being delivered as long as I'm pressing down. So those are the difference between those two. Now also on the back here you have an M/C button. This sets the mode for what your remote is on. So if I press it once, See how the C disappears but the M stays? I'm on momentary mode. If I press this again, the M would disappear and the C is there, so now I'm on continuous mode. I would press again, now I'm on momentary and continuous. So the difference here being is if I'm on momentary and continuous, I have momentary up here, which is my black button, and then I have continuous down here, which is my red button. And then to put this on momentary only, now what happens is I have a momentary up here button, but then I have a boost button here on the red button. So I've got a momentary and then I have a momentary boost. If I press this back button again and now I'm on continuous, now I have continuous, which is my black button, and then I have a continuous boost, which is the red button. Now the difference between these two, if I do a continuous boost, the boost is going to be delivered as long as I'm holding down, and it can be a boost of several levels depending on what I set it on, and we'll go into the settings in a little bit. If I'm doing a momentary boost, regardless of how long I'm holding that boost, it's only going to give it 1/10 of a second. So those are the difference between those modes. Now, what if, let's say, I'm on momentary and continuous mode and I want to do a boost? So my momentary button was the black one up top, the continuous was the red, but now if I want to do a boost, what I would do is I would press, let's say I want to do momentary boost. So I'm going to press my momentary button, and then right after I'm going to press the red, which gives me a momentary boost. So if you can see, I'm going to press, and I'm going to press this after, it goes up to 21. Now if I want to do a continuous boost, then I would hold the continuous, and then I would boost by pressing this, right? So I have continuous boost, and then I have momentary boost. All right, this thing here on top is your dial, so this adjusts your levels. Your levels go from 1 up into 100. And sometimes if you notice, like sometimes you might see on your screen where it's kind of flickering between, let's say, a 6 and a 7. It's not broken. It just means that your levels are a little bit in between, so you want to kind of take your dial and either pick the 6 or pick the 7, so just kind of readjust it there. On this side, you have a button that has a T on it, a black button. This is your vibrator function. So if you can see, it's vibrating the collar. We don't usually worry about this. We don't work with this one a whole lot. What we want you to focus on are these buttons here, especially just using your continuous. At Canine Boot Camp, we use pressure on and pressure off. So a lot of the times we're going to be working with the continuous button only. Also, you also have a lock function. So let's say we have a client that kind of wants to work with level 7, let's say, and for some reason they accidentally keep bumping the dial. So every time they're giving the dog a correction, it's giving them more than a 7 or less than a 7. You can hold down your dial button for about a couple seconds here, and you'll start to see that 7 blinked, which means now I have it locked on 7, which is why also your 1D up here stays still. When I unlock it, your 1D would start blinking again, which tells you now your remote is off lock. Okay, so now we're going to explain how we set our boost. So our boost is a higher level than what our dogs generally work on. So say my dog's normal working level is 10, and I want my boost function to be 10 more, plus 10, or let's say plus 20. You can choose what this is based on what that dog is going to need for their boost. So when doing this, you want to make sure your mode here on the screen is your momentary mode. So right now I have an M and a C. I'm going to press my M/C button on the back until I just get my M here. And then you also see my dial is on 0, so you want to make sure your dial is on 0 when you do this. And then what we're going to do is we're going to tap this black button, and we're going to hold down until you see that 0 is going to kind of turn into a 1. Once it turns into a 1 there, I'm going to release it, and then I can up on my dial here. So I'm going to make my boost plus 10. So I'm going to up my dial until 10. Right now it's on 10. And then I'm going to press this button again. So now when I hit my boost button, my boost is 20. Right, so it goes up 10. If my dog works on 20 and I hit the boost, it would go up to 30. So it's always plus the number that you set it on. And then you can just hit the button back here again on the back, and you're back to your just continuous mode, and then you're back to your momentary and continuous mode with that plus 10 being your boost.